why do we care about assessment? If you want to get accredited, that's probably arguably the acceptable way of proving that you have a good program in your institution. Also, you may have to satisfy the institutional level. There are some requirements to prove that you have a good quality program. Also, you may want to show your prospective students that yes, we got a real quality program with some evidences, and these evidences are assessment. Finally, we faculty wants to know how our students doing, what are their weaknesses, what are their strengths. We want to find that out so we can teach them better, we can understand them better. Now, without assessment, any of this is impossible. Now, to kind of stress the point, I'm going to use this external accreditor criteria, that how important it is to have the quality assessment process. These 8 criteria are copied from the Accreditation Board of Engineering and Technology for their engineering technology programs. You can go to this link or simply Google it to find these 8 criteria they use to evaluate a program. Now, if you read through them carefully, the description of each of these criteria, that you can see that every single one of these is related to assessment somehow, directly or indirectly, making sure that students are learning what they are promised to do. So, for example, this number 1, the first sentence of about the students is are we going to evaluate them, which is assessment, related to assessment. Program educational objective periodic review. So, you try to see what are the weaknesses and strength. The only way to find out is to assess it. And again, related to assessment, student learning outcomes. How do you know that your students learning what they are promised to learn? The only way you can prove is to collect some evidences, assessing them, evaluating them, that making sure they're learning. So I've copied this learning outcomes from the same accreditation board, and these 7 learning outcomes, they want any engineering program students to know before they receive their diplomas. And they basically wants to see that you have assessed each of these learning outcome multiple times during a accreditation cycle, which is about 5 to 6 years, depending on you are in engineering or engineering technology programs. So again, related to assessment. And then number 4 is the continuous improvement. Again, if you look at the description, it has this wordings, assessing and evaluating. Let's assume that you are producing a shaft of 3 inches diameter. Without measuring it, it is not possible to know whether we have produced 3 inches shaft or not. So assessment is very important for continuous improvement. We want to find out the weaknesses and strength and then address them accordingly. Now, curriculum, this particular accreditation board, they have very prescriptive curriculum for engineering programs. And you can see that about 30 credits of math, physics, chemistry, 45 credits of engineering courses, and then all the stuff they learn in these courses should be applied to a senior design and junior design project to solve a complex engineering problem. Now, this is not what they're actually looking for when they come to evaluate your program. What they're looking for is the evidences that you ensure that students are prepared. Students are prepared on each of these areas. So you basically collect assessment evidences for each of these curriculum components in your program that a student go through, and then show them, yes, here we go. This is the pieces of evidence that shows that they are prepared on these areas. Now, if you look at the description for the faculty, again, assessment, evaluation, to continually improve the program, because that's the only way you can find out the strengths and weaknesses of the program and then have it improved. Facilities, typically, still, do you have enough facilities to make sure that the students are learning? Do you have enough institutional supports, let's say library support, the students with disability, learning disability supports, are you using them effectively to help with the student learning outcomes? Are the student really learning? So they are also indirectly related to assessment. So without having an established assessment process, this accreditation board and mostly any other board will not even look at your applications. You're not even allowed to probably submit an application if you don't have a valid assessment going on, because that's the only way we can find what's the weaknesses and strength of the program, and then we can address them accordingly and improve them. In next few videos, I'll explain step-by-step process to how you can actually have a quality assessment program.